Hey guys, this is Seth from SU Fly Fishing. We're going to do a little casting tutorial today. I want to go through the progressions of how to start out getting used to casting, the first technique you should learn with casting, and the two most important casts in fly fishing. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is what it's like to throw flies on a fly rod. Okay, if you've been conventional fishing before in your life, you know that typically when you cast a rod, there's a weight at the end of the line. Okay, the issue that you have is with the fly rod is not that there's no weight, it's just that it's not at the end of the line. The weight that you're casting on fly rod is the line itself. So the way to get that line out is doing something called loading the rod. Loading the rod means you're putting pressure on that rod. Okay, so here's an example. Okay, my arm's right here. When you load, let's say you go forward. When you're going forward and that your rod starts bending like this, it's loading. That pressure in the rod is bending because of the weight of the line behind it. And when you pull it forward, that loading pressure whips the line forward. Okay, same thing on the back. When you pull it back, that line is loading. Okay, and as soon as it's whipped all the way back, that pressure whips the line back. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over what is good when you first start out to get used to that whipping back and forth. Okay, so what I want you to do is watch this video, and I'm going to talk some on it, and then we're going to come back here. Okay, the first thing I want you to do with your rod and reel is this. I want you to pull out about 20 feet of line. You see me here pulling out line. Once you pulled out that much line, and I want you to go back and forth, back and forth. I want you to get used to how that line feels. Your goal is for your line not to hit you or the ground for a whole minute. Okay, now when you start doing this, you're going to feel a rhythm. For me, my rhythm is tun, 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 tun. Okay, now the longer the cast, the more line you have loaded on a traditional cast, the more the rhythm's going to be, or the beat's going to be farther apart. With a short 20-foot cast, tun, tun, it's gone. If you're throwing 70, 80 feet, it could be tun, tun. Okay? You're wanting to find your rhythm when you're casting, okay? So your goal for this part is for a minute straight to be able to keep the line up, be able to feel the rod loading, the line being shot backwards. Do not hit yourself or the ground, okay? Once you get to that and you feel like you can do it comfortably without sitting there worrying about popping yourself in the back of the head or hitting the ground or hitting something around you, then you go on to the next stage. That is learning what's called the hole. Okay, there's a single and double hole, but the mechanics are the same for both. A hole is almost putting more pressure on the fly rod, loading it more. So in this video right here, you can see me loading the rod, loading the rod. Now what I'm doing is when I'm casting, I'm literally pulling the line and moving the rod forward. So I'm keeping the line, I'm keeping the rod loaded the whole time forward, and I'm letting go of the line when I feel all that pressure load up. You're making the line go farther, and you're allowing yourself to be a little bit more precise with long casts. If you can get 50 feet while hauling, okay, you can go to the next cast, all right? The next cast is a benchmark, okay? It's called a roll cast. What you're going to do is when you have line on the water, you want to bring that line to a D in the elbow, okay? So what I mean by that is you're going to bring that line, you're going to bring it up, load the rod, bring the rod back to the line, makes a D with your elbow, and you're going to hold down and whip out, okay? So you're going to need the hull, and you're going to need the pressure from the water. See, I'll wait till it gets W, and I'm able to roll the line out very quickly. This works very good for dry fly presentation. You can also do dry droppers. With dry droppers, I put a little more lift, so not as quick, maybe a little bit slower, just so make sure you get everything out, and you lift your rod tip up a little bit more, okay? So what you want to do is, again, bring the rod to a D, make sure you have some pressure on the line, and you whip it forward. Well, guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it informational. If you have any questions or any critiques, leave them down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And as always, guys, please, tight lines and blessings.